I did a little digging after all these immigrant worker shortage story, and I found a study that was released on December 21st that showed that there are 1.9 million more immigrant workers in the country now over 2019. The analysis from the Center for Immigration Studies showed that in November 2022, there were 29.6 million immigrants, legal and illegal, working in the United States, right? But interestingly, they found who is missing from the workforce. There were 2.1 million fewer US-born Americans working in November 2022 compared to November 2019. It said the decline for men and women is mainly among those without a bachelor's degree, though it has also impacted teenagers. In contrast, the labor force participation of the foreign-born has not declined in the same way. Economists often look at prime age men aged 25 to 54 because men traditionally have higher rates of work, especially in this age group. The rates for these men has declined since 2000. The decline is particularly pronounced for prime-age US-born men without a bachelor's degree. The labor force participation of prime-age, less educated women has also declined, though not as much as it has for men. And it goes on to say, to the extent workers are missing, it seems fair to say it is due to this dramatic decline in the participation of working-age US-born Americans rather than a fall-off in immigrant workers. This part is important. To be clear, not all or even most of the 44.9 million US-born Americans not in the labor force should be working or wish to do so. Some are taking care of young children or elderly relatives. Others are legitimately disabled. Still others are in school, and some are independently wealthy. But the fact remains that all of these things were true in the past, and yet a much higher percentage were in the labor force as recently as 2000. So here are my thoughts on this. It seems from this analysis that a lot of people have legitimate reasons why they do not want to participate in the labor force or are unable to. They're caring for family members, or they are disabled, or there are other reasons why they're unable to participate in the workforce. And honestly, as someone who is participating against my will, I can understand why people would opt out of a system that does not care about the well-being of employees. That being said, there is a reason why the media and major corporations want us to focus on immigrant workers and not the US-born workers who are refusing to participate. They need the immigrant workers to come in and accept lower wages and kind of pull down the wage gains that has occurred in the labor force over the past 2 years. Workers are using unions now to get more benefits and to increase their wages. And that is cutting into corporate profits. So what they want to do is to encourage immigrant workers to come into the workforce and accept low wage, low or no benefit jobs to cut into the gains that the American workforce has made. So when you see all of these stories separately, it makes no sense, right? You need more immigrant workers, but you need to slow down hiring. You need more immigrant workers, but you need to build a wall because they don't want immigrants in. You need more immigrant workers, but you need to stop inflation and drive down wages. When you put it all together, it all makes sense because the whole objective is to bring wages down. And at the end of the day, the blame is not going to be on the people who are pulling the strings. The blame is not going to be on the Federal Reserve chair. The blame is not going to be on the companies who are trying to not give workers their rights and their proper pay and their benefits. The blame is not going to be on any of these people in Congress who are making laws to give corporations more leeway into having these huge profits and depriving workers of the rights and benefits that they should have. The blame is going to be on the immigrant workers, even though it's not their fault, even though all they're trying to do is live like everybody else. But the reason that they are being used in this way is to serve the purpose for corporate America.